One. All right, guys, welcome in my wonderful client. Her name is Hannah. Okay, she's been crushing it inside the program. And yeah, I just want to bring her in today and talk about how she's been able to lose 20 pounds over the last 6, 7 months. And she's been really hitting stride, and she's been doing this with a really busy lifestyle, traveling as well. But yeah, welcome in, Hannah.
Thank you.
Yep. So yeah, just some quick few questions here. Viewers probably would like to know, like, how did we meet, Hannah? And actually, this kind of refreshes things and when we first actually met too. So
Yeah. So I was referred to the Meraki team via I believe it was a 6-week challenge. And then after the challenge, I converted to a full-time member.
nice, nice. Yeah, yeah. I remember that. That was a good time. I remember you're really active in the challenge and then coming on the team. Yeah. All right. So love to hear, Hannah. More of your fitness journey before you actually met me.
So before I met you, I was let's see, I was under eating. I didn't have a very great diet. I wasn't really eating consistently, eating good calories within a day. So I was working night shift. So I was really, like low metabolism, tired all the time, like super discouraged, low confidence. Just
Mhm.
not a great story.
Yeah. And how long was this going on for? Where like, you're not eating and like you mentioned like metabolism being slow, like how and you're working a lot too, right? And a lot of people can probably relate. Like how long has this been going on for, or had it been going on for?
Uh, Probably the most severe that I had been since about 2020. So
Mm,
since I've gotten into the healthcare field.
mm. Okay. Okay. And just curious to know, like, what made you decide, like, hey, I'm actually gonna, join Asians Challenge and, make a change. What got you making that decision?
So I think I just needed to mix up what I was doing in the gym and maybe just learning someone else's perspective as far as getting healthy goals. So I knew I needed a little bit of help in shifting that mind frame and that mindset of really what does healthy look like. So it's like, okay, let's do a challenge, let's join something to kind of redefine what that looks on me and get some help.
Mm. Nice, nice. And yeah, like as I mentioned earlier in the call, like you've been able to lose 20 pounds over this year, which is fantastic. Tell me a little bit more, just besides from like, the weight, like how have you been feeling and other wins?
Yeah, so in my journey this far, so I've gotten a lot more like muscle definition, which was one of the main goals that I was working on, and just very toned. And just like I've hit like a milestone, so I'm down 20 pounds. I feel better. I feel lighter. I feel like, I'm eating consistently. I'm getting better sleep than I have in a really long time. So that's really good too. So just by far a happier, more balanced life.
Very, very happy to hear that. Honestly, like I know when we first met, it was like, you're really busy. And then like you mentioned about like the eating, and then we start to establish that and get more structure with like the calories and macros. And you've been able to really hit stride this year. So really, really proud of you, Hannah.
Thank
Really proud
you.
of you. Yep. There's probably a lot of people that are in the same position where they're like busy with work, Hannah. They don't have time to eat. I often hear like a lot of people tell me, Adrian, like I'm so busy, I don't eat till like 2, 3 p.m. Right? What got you? Because I know it wasn't easy for you, but you did find a way, Hannah, to like make things work. Like, what is your suggestion or tips for individuals that struggle with this? Like not being able to eat, metabolism not being fast, and just struggling with their fitness. What worked for you?
So, yeah, so just I know like eating a couple 2 to 3 hours sounds a bit daunting whenever you're extremely busy. I know I work in the healthcare field, so sometimes I'm not able to take, a 15-minute break here and there. So I meal prep at the beginning of my week and I plan my meals to make sure that everything hits where I need to be. And I think it's just commitments. What really helped me too is setting like an alarm on my work schedule. So it's like, oh, I'm going to go get some water. And while I'm eating water, I'm going to eat my blueberries and I'm going to eat my little jerky or whatever it is I have planned for that week. And it's, it takes 5 minutes. And in the grand scheme of life, that 5 minute break, in my mind, I had to kind of re-establish that 5 minute break, taking 5 minutes during my workday, makes me a better person. It makes me happier. It makes me more approachable. So it's just shifting that mindset of taking time for me to make sure that I'm good really just helps everyone and everything around me, especially in my work, especially in my personal life. So it just kind of shifting that mindset. Like it's okay to be a little selfish along the way.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was really well said, actually. And I
Thank
like that a lot because a lot of times we get really like, absorbed in like, what we do for work, what we do in our career, everything else, and we forget about ourselves. And like you said, like it's just 5 minutes, right? And I like what you mentioned, like, prepping beforehand, like having a couple things like drinking water and then doing a multitasking. And it didn't take that long. It was really just 5 minutes. So thank you for that. That's actually really helpful. Mm. Yeah. All right. So what do you think was the biggest struggle for you and just overcoming this particular struggle? What was the biggest struggle for you, Hannah?
So I think I needed a little help. There's been like in my past, there was a lot of like pseudoscience and a lot of demonizing of like carbs, demonizing of fats, and I think it's just restructuring and redefining like what healthy really is.
Yeah.
And it's really not what like social media portrays it as, or like what influencers portray it as. It's actually rather more simple than that. And so just redefining healthy, what that looks like in an actual fitness journey, and just, you know, it's okay to have a 20 like 80-20 lifestyle. It's okay to have a pastry every now and again. You don't have to go run 5 miles if you're eating a pastry. It's okay. It's not a big deal, you just plan accordingly. Yeah, so I think that was a big obstacle. I still struggle with it. Like I had body dysmorphia, but it's just something that comes along with the fitness journey. And it used to really affect me, and nowadays it's like it's kind of, it's still back there, but not as prevalent.
Yeah. And I super appreciate you sharing that and opening up. I know we had conversations about this before, and just working with you and, overcoming this, not overcoming just yet. Like we all, like you said, are not perfect. Even for me, I shared like, my struggle still with like relationship with food. I made an Instagram post on this a couple days ago. But what you said is it's so true because there's just so much pseudoscience and so much information out there. And it can really change your beliefs, how we look at food and our relationship with food, right? And I think that's the greatest thing. Like, and I'm really happy to hear that as your coach, to know that, we really just abolish all these things that are like, we blocked off the noise, quiet down the noise, and then we just focus on like the right things. And you said something so key, Hannah, which is like simple. Like it's not as difficult, or it doesn't have to be really complex, like what many may think it is, right? Keeping it effective, efficient, keeping it simple. And I mean, that's why we're here today. And it's like the amazing thing, just for everyone to know, like Hannah travels quite often. Like she's on the road right now. She's on the
Yeah.
road right now, and like she's been able to still do this. And we're just getting started. Like she has so much more gains and potential. So I'm really, really, really proud of you, honestly, Hannah. Like how you've been able to first be a really compliant client, but also doing this, like traveling is not easy, but you made it work.
Yeah, thank you.
So very, very proud of you. As we finish up here, do you have any recommendations for anybody that's like stuck with their fitness? Maybe like in a similar position. There's a lot of people I speak with, Hannah, that travel for work. They're like, I don't have time, and
Yeah.
then their health and fitness regresses every single year, and they feel like they're kind of at lost cause. What's your suggestion for them?
Uh, so I know I have some down days as well. It's okay to have a couple down days. It's okay to feel very discouraged. In fact, today I really just wasn't feeling the gym. I usually tell myself just something to motivate myself. It's usually days when you don't want to go are the days you really should go. And you know what? After I did it, after I did my walking and stuff, I did feel better. So I think it's just a mindset thing, and it's okay to fall off a little bit, but it's important to get back on if that's your goal in life. Like we all make mistakes, we can all do it, but you can always just come back. It's like an up and down thing. And that's okay, because even if you do make a little mistake, you're just going to come back stronger because you're smarter for it.
Mhm.
And I know like discouragement is part of the fitness journey. You could talk to any fitness person, any person in the gym, and if they say they don't have any like bad days, they are not being very honest. We're all
Exactly.
human. So
Yeah. That's great, and I think that's such a great way to end it off. And just letting everyone know, like there's ebbs and flows to every journey, especially like a fitness journey. And I think what I got from Hannah, like my takeaway from that is like being self-compassionate. Like in order to actually succeed and make progress, you have to be kind to yourself. you have to like, be kind to yourself. You have to be understanding to yourself and just see it like, hey, like there's ebbs and flows, there's ups and downs, right? But as long as you just like Hannah said, even though she didn't really feel like it, still going to the gym, like still doing the work, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but just progressively, some progressive consistency, right? As I always say, like 80% long term is good. You'll be able to get closer and closer towards the goal. And I think one great thing is also the mindset side of things, like developing that mindset, Anna. The positive mindset that you have, and just like the progressive mindset, progressively moving forward mindset that you have. Like we can't just stay still. We got to move forward, right? You got to do something, Hannah, and just like everyone else. So that's great. Hannah, thank you so much for this chat. It's always great to chat with you, and I really appreciate you coming on. And I know you're on the road right now, and you're still making time, but thank you. And that was super valuable. And besides from that, thank you so much, guys. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
Thank you.
Bye.